Alright, what's up, guys? SuicidalGrind here. Spoke too fast with my own fucking mouth here. I was going to reply here to a comment I got, and it didn't go well because I started just rambling on and on. But yeah, so we got a comment from Kostolo Kenshi, an interesting name because the first half sound Russian and the second half sounds Japanese, but I guess it might be intentional. But nonetheless, that's not important. They were saying, like, damn, I want a Floyd Rose, and in parentheses, which was flattering as fuck, and your shredding skills. But they were basically asking, because they were saying something about making it sing at the end and extremely rapid fretting on the sweep picking part. And they were asking how, because when I read this, I was like, fuck, how am I going to answer this? Because it's kind of like, you're going to be disappointed. Because when they're like, how long have you been practicing techniques for? I'm like, I haven't. There was no practice that got me here. The way I learned was a little different. I always learned by like, from 2010 to 2017, because 2010 is when I got my first like electric guitar with like, it was a Behringer Strat. It's pretty fucking awesome. I mean, this was my main fucking microphone from fucking Behringer. That's most of my albums recorded on that one, from debut EP to Michibiku, the self-titled. And after that, I went to my fucking phone to record it because my fucking microphone broke. In fact, I had two of these Behringer mics, and I upgraded to the SE Electronics, which you need a sock for a pop filter, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and it sounds fucking better. So it's more high quality, and it's really just good for me because of what I use it for. Sorry, Paranormal Mind, I had to tweak some of the vocals on the first upload was a little rough, and then I figured out the hard way that you need a little filter. But yeah, I managed to get all the fucking windy ass breath noise sounds on the title track of Paranormal Mind out of the mix, actually, because that was the first time I looked up a fucking mixing tutorial. I was like, fuck, I gotta do this, man. I gotta learn this the hard way, because there's no way I can let this be on the fucking album. And then I fixed it, and it fucking sounded great. You can still probably hear a little bit of breathiness in there, but it removed most of it. And then it basically was just smooth sailing from there on. But yeah, so essentially, it was 2017 when I really got to the start of actually, starting to be decent. And now, where I have to be fucking honest and give myself some praise, I feel like the way I play and the things come out on the fretboard when I'm actually like playing a solo, tracking that, and tracking my riffs, I'm fucking happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been with that shit. The fact I'm still making an album that to me keeps up with my best album, that's all I could ask for. It's more than I can ask for, even. Fucking, I don't even, there's not even a question about this. I wasn't even asking about that in the first place. I was just making music for fun. And that's basically, I think, what it is that made me improve, because I made music since fucking 2018, 8 EP. I have 14 albums, some EPs, and some fucking bullshit in between. So 2018 to 2025, doing all that, also improved a lot of my playing, because, when you're recording, you're learning as well. By just the fact that you're writing something, I guess for some reason, it's the same for like, because I learned by ear my whole life, basically 80%. There's only like a few handful things that I learned by tab. For example, Painkiller's guitar solo, the first time I learned it properly, not just hammering on the fucking fretboard like a retard, I used a tab. That was the only time I used that, because it was so fucking, out there to figure out. And basically just had to fucking pound her in. But that was basically the process, and I fucking lost my words. We're drawing a blank now, and when I had it. But yeah, so I was writing, I was learning by ear, but the rest is like, I learned, for example, a Morbid Angel song, Invocation of the Continual One, by ear, 23, that was 2 years ago. That really fucking helped, because Morbid Angel, that's super difficult stuff to learn by ear, but I still did it, because the tabs were all fucking shite, to put it fucking lightly. And that was already the point where I had figured out, like, how to pick out the notes on the guitar. Obviously, some stuff is going to be different because of the human ear, it's not flawless. And in fact, the closest I ever got to do original was when I did the Covenant Death full band cover. Because I listened to the isolated guitar solos pitched down to C sharp standard from E flat. And that was the way I had to do it, man. Because, I was playing in C sharp, and I wanted to cover Morbid Angel in C sharp. So I was like, well, shit, I gotta pitch this down. So I pitched that down, pitched the riffs down, because I have to learn some of them, just because even though I knew the song in E flat. And believe it or not, that makes it very different when you tune down. You can kind of pick out some notes, but some of the riffs were still like, what the fuck do I do here again? On the fretboard. Because it's all patterns and shapes, really, at a certain time and point. And if you play a song long enough, you're going to be like, okay, this pattern goes at this point in this song. But don't think about it like that. You shouldn't, that's like, your subconscious shouldn't even think about that. Your subconscious should be, like, kind of able to do that without thinking. Sort of. Obviously, you got to think to be like, where the fuck am I going next? But not in the way that, like, you're fucking sitting there, oh my god. I just barely nailed that solo. I forgot half the fucking thing halfway in. No, you gotta practice a little more than that. Like, learning, like, you play the solo to the solo over and over. And in fact, the best way to do that is recording yourself to the guitar solo, and you can mismatch, because if you listen enough to a song, you're gonna know the guitar solo in your brain, like ingrained in here. And if truly any song you cover, you should truly love, at least in my opinion. So then you really like listen to it, and you pick out the notes, and if you have to, you slow it down, and then you because you'll hear the solo in your head as you're playing it slower, and that way, if it works fast, that's good too. That's even fucking better. You think about the guitar solo, the way it goes, and you pick it out. If you have to learn it slow, that's fine. And then you can play it slow, and then eventually get it up to speed. That's basically the moral of the story is, you kind of gotta, because I found out what works for me. Your goal is to find out what works out for you, because what works out for me is not going to work out for everyone. There are going to be people who are like, well, shit, I'm having a super hard time with learning by ear. Like, I just can't do it, man. Like, I've tried for fucking 2 years here, and I've barely gotten good at it. And, well, I've been thinking how hard I've been really fucking trying. Been trying for 2 years. Can't fucking do it. But point being is, it's really about learning if you want to, you have to learn if you want to learn a certain way, essentially. You have to find out, does learning by ear go better, or does it go in by metronome better? Because I never really practiced to a metronome more than like a few handful times in my life. I can actually be honest about that, because me recording to a metronome was my practice to a metronome, essentially, in my first albums and such, and got better at it. And, but also I had already developed my rhythmic sense, because I had played for, like I said, 2018 and 2010, 2017 is when I already nailed some solos. You gotta have some fucking rhythmic sensibility then. So yeah, really, it's just finding what works for you, doing your best with what you can, and don't expect too much about it, because like the thing is, I went into this expecting nothing. Same with music, I expected zero, because the entire time I was writing music because I love fucking writing music. That's why I have 14 fucking albums. Only 13 visible in fucking Metal Archives. Fucking forgot to. Because apparently you have to fucking do it yourself, put it on there yourself, fucking DIY style. Fucking having a hard time in this goddamn society. Let me see the report history. Wait, it's update history though. What is this miscorrection? What the fuck? They fucking put my... They thought that was my YouTube channel? That's fucking not. Some fucking hoagie thought that my YouTube channel was something else than it actually is. Okay, that was fucking weird. Metal Archives. So I was checking like a little report history. What's this discrete update? Some fucking dude updated something on my fucking art profile. I'm curious, goddammit, I have to check. I don't care if it's my fucking video talking about this goddamn bullshit. But yeah, so I've said pretty much everything. They added Bandcamp. Yeah, but the problem is they added Bandcamp with only one song on it, which is fine. I need to upload more fucking shit on it. But basically, yeah, you can see the update history is like, I'm doing all this shit myself, brother. What was this? Yeah, that's me. That was me. That was me. That was also me. Even though it says another name, it was someone else who basically verified it. Yeah, CDR was spelled correctly. They added a CD version. I see. Okay, cool. I'm just checking because I never seen this shit. I never seen when that was 2024. That was added. Nice. So I actually did that. So yeah, I'm learning. I'm still learning about this shit too. But yeah, got everything pretty much across here, except for the fucking stupid rambling I did there about Metal Archives. Can't ignore that. But yeah, so I can't exactly have a. That's the thing. You gotta realize, like, we all fucking gotta learn our own fucking way. And shit, it works. Shit, it doesn't work. Doesn't work. That's just as simple. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And you just gotta find the thing that works. This the shortest way I can say this, and the long way. I mean, I pretty much said it the long way how I did it. But basically, if we're talking like maybe how to count what my practice was, then I would say actual like practice with like if we're gonna count the song learning as practice, then I think I would be generous and say 10 years I've actually been practicing learning songs, essentially. And yeah, 2015 I would check out, because 2015 would have been when I would start taking it a little more serious, but I was still fucking up on a lot of shit. Because that's when I started like starting to play a little more stuff here and there, and it was a little more difficult, but you know, I wasn't good at it until fucking way later. But it was kind of like one day I didn't have it and the next day I did. Is what it felt like. Because I even remember, it was like when I got my 7-string guitar, that's back there, like literally, like guitar right there, I was learning like, I have no shame in admitting, deathcore, and that's when I started like actually like picking out a guitar solos, because I was like, that was one of the guitar solos that I really sat down and tried to listen and learn. I sat down there and fucking picked out all the notes slow, and I kept fucking trying and trying. I remember that. I remember this. That was the hardest I ever worked in trying to get a solo working, which I think that probably improved me a lot. If you just want to hear the guitar solo, it's somewhere in the fucking song of Angel Maker's A Dark Omen. That guitar solo, I went for like, there were like a month process of just trying to fucking get it down. I still didn't get it down after that month, because I only got it down like a year later or something when I got it down properly. And along the way, I learned other songs, of course, on the 7 string because I was into all that stuff, and I still am. I don't shy away from being like, oh, I here's where I came from. I don't give a shit. I like Angel Maker. I used to like, I still probably do because I fucking truly am into what I fucking like. I still like all the canoe shit, like Some Die Artist Murder, the early Job for a Cowboy, basically the fucking Into a Machine song because he does that whistle scream. I think I might have dabbled in Whitechapel. I don't fucking remember, but I've enjoyed a lot of deplorable music. Like, to me, it's enjoyable, but yeah, I understand why a fucking true metalist is gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is this shit? Because the thing is, you also gotta look at it like this. They grew up, they started listening to, you know, potentially, let's say they grew up like Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax, maybe, you know, the general fucking basic shit that we all grew up on. Because that's basically where I started as well, with Iron Maiden, Kiss, and all that bullshit. Yeah? Everyone and their fucking mother can start there. It's very accessible, mainstream, radio-friendly fucking music, right? We started there, and they went, and most of the people who are like, you know, talking about that, like, what the fuck is this goddamn poser bullshit? Most of them are like older, and I'm not saying that as in like, okay, boomer. Like, I don't give a shit. The thing is, at the end of the day, you should give a shit about what someone else thinks about music, because music should be about you, man. And saying about what you write, what you stand for with music, that should be about you. You shouldn't give a shit about what anyone thinks. Not even your closest friends, not even your fucking partners. Like, you should like what you like. It's okay that someone else doesn't fucking like it, and if they fuck you off, basically flip you off and tell you go fuck yourself because you like someone they don't, well, go fuck themselves. They can go fuck themselves, and it's really that simple. You just gotta keep your own, and the only thing you gotta learn is to not be an asshole about it as well. Like, if someone says, I don't like Deicide, okay, what do you like? I like a lot of deathcore. Well, shit, this explains itself. But instead of going to the face and being like, you're a poser, because that makes you look like a fucking idiot. That's not what a poser is. A poser is someone who pretends to like something they don't. That's all it is. Someone who pretends to be into something they're not really into. And if they're truly into deathcore and they say they're into deathcore, they're not a fucking poser. They like deathcore. Now, whether that makes them a metalhead or not, that's not my fucking business to give a shit about. Because I don't have fucking time for giving a shit about that. I have better things on my fucking plate. I'm like, I'd rather give a shit about what the electrical bill is this month than fucking give a shit about that. So, I don't really care. Because at the end of the day, the way I learned was like, you know, I obviously started with the basic baby metal shit. And not talking about the band, even though I kind of dabbled in some of that. But fucking new shit is fucking deathcore bullshit, deplorable. But they used to have fucking guitar solos, believe it or not. Good ones. Fucking missed out those days. Like, that's the thing. I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, okay, I like some of the early baby metal. Oh my, I'm so scared of admitting this. My guilty pleasure. I'm not guilty for fucking shit. If you're guilty about what you fucking like, you're a fucking pussy and a poser. It's just the way she goes. It's fucking Trailer Park Boys said, you know? You're not guilty. You're like, you shouldn't be guilty for liking shit. I like fucking what I like. I don't give a shit. If you don't like what I like, then that's cool. Just keep it to yourself. The same legal around. Like what I was trying to say with don't be an asshole about it is basically if someone says they don't like deathcore, best thing is to do is just talk to someone who does. Or don't talk at all. With people, if you find no one who's like-minded, but I highly fucking doubt it. You can't find anyone who likes fucking deathcore. If you're into it, fucking highly, you couldn't have been looking very hard, bro. Fucking go on Instagram, fucking scroll through reels, you might find someone. Like, there ain't no way you ain't fucking finding anyone who likes fucking deathcore. So, and same with death metal. You shouldn't have fucking, and again, it shouldn't be, again, that kind of dabbles in again to the fucking, you know, giving a shit about what other people like. I guess, again, at the end of the day, we should really be like, okay, you don't like this. But, like, you can also be like, if you really feel like fucking talking to this person, you can also be like a fucking sensible human being and just say, all right, what do you like? Like anything like thrash metal, black metal, you know, something that's not death metal, okay? It might be too much. I understand the fucking growls, you know, too brutal, too much heaviness, too much sack on those guitar riffs. What about black metal? You like that? What about thrash metal? You like some old school fucking Demolition Hammer? Maybe some, you know, basic stuff like Slayer, entry level, like Raining Blood, maybe Seasons in the Abyss, stuff that the kiddos might like. You like, you know, ask a little bit like that, you know, instead of picking on fucking, what do you mean you don't like this bullshit? Of course, if it's your fucking buddy, you know them for fucking 10 years, and you know the chemistry, yeah, of course you can fucking joke around, but that should be fucking common sense in your fucking brain. How did we get here over technique learning? What I was trying to say is that guitar solo was really fucking challenging, and that was really what improved as well a lot, because I was really hammering it out and trying until I finally got it. Trial and error, buddy. We all fucking had to go through it. There wasn't no fucking magical mushroom that we just fucking went all over the fucking rainbow. There was a fucking gold bar at the end, fucking leprechaun with the fucking gold bar. You know what the fuck I'm trying to say, goddammit. There wasn't any of that. There wasn't no fucking call up the devil on the phone, dial 666 on the phone. Hello, Mr. Devil, give me some guitar skills. No, there wasn't no fucking that. There was no, weed. No, there wasn't no fucking that. You can't smoke weed and suddenly play fucking doom metal like it's no tomorrow if you never fucking picked up a guitar before. Believe it or not. You probably learned that sober first. So, what I'm saying is, you do you, essentially. And, yeah. I think truly, if you put your mind to the thing that you notice improves you the most, which I understand, that can be a fucking shit fuck to learn on its own. To see what the fuck makes me get better at the guitar. That's a good question. Because I understand that is a difficult question to find the answer to, but everyone's got to find it at some point. It's just a matter of time when you find it. You're gonna, and when you know, you're gonna know, because it's pretty fucking easy to tell. Like, you go back and think about, like, what have I done that made me get better to where I'm here right now? Because this time back here, I was not this good. And then you really have to think about what the fuck you did, and documenting it with a camera or anything, or even just files on your computer, is really fucking good. Because it really shows you a visual picture or a sound of, you know, maybe what you were doing before you got better, and, you know, you can see after what you're doing differently, and, you know, try to feel like, all right, so I learned this thing, or I learned this way, I practiced that way, whatever the fuck that is for you, basically. You gotta roll that up into a goddamn massive old fucking big old joint, smoke it right up for the next 5 years, and just, you know, basically like that, and just fucking go hard at her. And yeah, it's really just like, I feel like I got super lucky to get where I am. So what the fuck does that mean for me? I don't know. I just consider myself very lucky, and of course I'm fucking happy about that. It feels great, powerful. I mean, what can I say? Pretty much said it already. It feels fucking great, you know, to be able to be like, I was here at one point. Like, I was here at one point. And now I'm over here in current day, present time, looking back at 2013, being like, holy shit, I improved. You know, kind of like that. So, hopefully that was a little help. And for anyone else watching, this is probably a fucking mess of a fucking video. Even for the guy I fucking replied to, it was a fucking mess of a video. But hey, I'm a good ass fucking time, and I'm gonna shut the fuck up now so I can rest my fucking voice. Later.